Imagine if you could become a little bit better every single day. Not by taking giant leaps, not by turning your life upside down, but simply by improving in very small ways. What if one small step today, and another tomorrow, could build the future you dream of? This is the promise of Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word that means continuous improvement. It is about small and simple actions done daily, which over time create massive results. Instead of chasing sudden transformations that often fail, Kaizen invites us to grow slowly, safely, and surely. Think of it like this. If you try to lift a heavy weight on the very first day, you may hurt yourself. But if you lift a small weight every day and increase it little by little, your strength will grow naturally. This is Kaizen in action. In this book, Ramon explains how Kaizen can help in every area of life. From health to money, from work to personal happiness, the 1% rule can change everything. The power of Kaizen is not in intensity, but in consistency. It teaches us to respect the process of growth, not just the end goal. But why do we really need Kaizen in today's world? Why should we care about 1% daily improvement when everyone talks about quick success and shortcuts? To understand this, let us begin with the first chapter. Why we need Kaizen. Chapter 1. Why we need Kaizen. Life today feels like a race. Everywhere we look, people are chasing big results. Lose weight fast, get rich quickly, build a successful career overnight. Social media makes this pressure even worse because we only see the highlight moments of others, not their struggles. We are told that success must be instant. But in reality, very few people can handle sudden big changes. Most of the time, we set huge goals, feel excited for a short while, and then fail to keep up. The failure leaves us discouraged, and we give up completely. This is why we need Kaizen. Kaizen offers a different path. Instead of giant leaps, Kaizen is about taking very small steps. Imagine improving yourself by only 1% every day. That may not look powerful in the beginning, but over time, those tiny changes add up. Just as drops of water can eventually fill a whole jar, 1% daily growth creates transformation that lasts. One of the biggest reasons Kaizen works is because it lowers resistance. The human brain naturally dislikes change. If you try to suddenly change your diet completely, your brain will fight back with cravings and excuses. But if you simply add 1 extra glass of water daily, or remove 1 spoon of sugar, the change feels easy. Your brain does not panic. Over weeks and months, this becomes a habit. And habits are what shape long-term results. Think of fitness. Many people start by going to the gym for 2 hours a day. After a week, they feel exhausted and quit. Kaizen would suggest starting with just 5 minutes of exercise. 5 minutes is so small that you cannot fail. Once you build the habit, you naturally increase the time. The result is steady improvement that does not feel like a burden. The same happens with money. If you try to save half your income suddenly, you will struggle and fail. But if you start by saving only 1%, it feels easy. Slowly, you increase the amount. Over time, this small saving habit grows into financial stability. Kaizen is also powerful because it focuses on process, not only results. Society tells us to look at the outcome. Did you lose 10 kilos? Did you earn more money? Did you complete the big project? But Kaizen reminds us that the process is more important. If you build a system of daily improvement, results will come naturally. Another reason we need Kaizen is that it removes fear. Big goals are frightening. Writing a whole book looks impossible. But writing 1 page a day is not scary. Running a marathon feels unreachable. But walking for 10 minutes daily is simple. By reducing fear, Kaizen allows us to begin and continue without stress. Finally, Kaizen creates confidence. Every small win builds belief in yourself. Every step forward proves that you can improve. Over time, this self-trust grows into unshakable confidence. You no longer need to rely on motivation or inspiration. You rely on the habit of steady action. So why do we need Kaizen? Because it is realistic. Because it is kind to the human mind. because it works not only for a few weeks, but for a lifetime. Kaizen teaches us that greatness is not about sudden explosions of effort. It is about slow, steady, patient growth. Now that we understand why Kaizen is important, the next step is to look at where it began. Kaizen is not just a personal idea. It was born in the world of business, in a country that rebuilt itself after complete destruction. To truly respect Kaizen, we must first learn its origin. That is what we will explore in the next chapter. Kaizen in its original context. Business. Chapter 2. Kaizen in its original context. Business. To understand the power of Kaizen, we need to go back to its roots. Kaizen was not created as a personal development idea. It was born in the world of business, especially in Japan, after the Second World War. At that time, Japan was devastated. Its industries were destroyed, resources were scarce, and the nation had to find a way to rebuild from almost nothing. Japanese leaders, with the guidance of American quality experts such as W. Edwards Deming and Joseph Juran, began to look for a method that would not depend on sudden revolutions or massive investments. They needed an approach that used what they already had, focused on efficiency, and built strength little by little. Out of this need, Kaizen was born. In Japanese companies, Kaizen meant continuous improvement in every area of work. The idea was simple but powerful. Instead of waiting for one big breakthrough, every employee at every level was encouraged to look for small improvements every day. A factory worker could suggest moving a tool closer to reduce wasted motion. A supervisor might find a way to reduce errors in a production line. An office worker could suggest a quicker filing system. These changes were tiny, but when added together, they transformed entire companies. One of the best examples is Toyota. The company became world famous not just for making cars, but for its production system based on Kaizen. Toyota encouraged workers to stop the assembly line if they noticed a problem and suggest improvements immediately. This culture created quality, efficiency, and innovation that allowed Toyota to compete globally. What began as small adjustments eventually became a system admired around the world. Kaizen in business is also about teamwork. It is not only the responsibility of managers to improve. Everyone contributes. This creates a culture where people feel respected and valued because their ideas matter. The smallest suggestion can lead to the biggest change. Over time, thousands of suggestions build a company that is flexible, resilient, and successful. Another key point is that Kaizen is not a one-time project. It is a continuous process. Businesses that adopt Kaizen never stop improving. They keep asking the same question: how can we make this a little better today? That mindset ensures that companies do not become lazy or outdated. They stay strong and competitive even when challenges appear. So what can we learn from this history? The lesson is clear. If Kaizen can rebuild industries and transform nations, it can certainly transform individual lives. Just as a company improves through small daily actions, a person can improve health, wealth, habits, and relationships with the same principle. Kaizen teaches us that big success does not come from big explosions of effort. It comes from the steady rhythm of continuous improvement. Businesses proved it by becoming world leaders. Now, individuals like us can apply the same wisdom. But before we jump into applying Kaizen in health or money, it is important to understand some of its key principles. Kaizen is not just about doing small things randomly. There are concepts inside Kaizen that make it effective. If we know these concepts, we can apply them correctly and get real results. That is what we will explore next. The important Kaizen concepts to consider. Chapter 3. Kaizen concepts to consider. Now that we know where Kaizen comes from, let us look at its key principles. These are the ideas that make Kaizen powerful. Without understanding them, we may only copy the surface but miss the real strength. Kaizen is more than just doing small things. It is about doing them with the right mindset. The first concept is small steps are powerful. Improvement does not have to be dramatic. Imagine you improve only 1% every day. At first, it looks like nothing. But after a year, you are far ahead of where you started. Just as a single drop of water may seem weak, but over time it can shape stone, small steps create lasting change. The second concept is, consistency matters more than intensity. Many people believe success comes from working very hard for a short time. They run for 10 kilometers once a month, or study for 10 hours before an exam. But this does not create lasting progress. Kaizen teaches us that even 5 minutes of daily action is stronger than occasional intensity. The habit of showing up every day is more important than how much you do in one single moment. The third concept is focus on process, not only results. Society often tells us to measure success by the outcome. Did you lose weight? Did you make money? Did you win the promotion? Kaizen changes the question. It asks, are you improving your system? Are you building habits that will naturally lead to results? If you improve the process, the results will follow without stress. The fourth concept is, remove resistance. Big goals feel scary. They activate fear and excuses. That is why people delay starting. Kaizen avoids this by making the step so small that you cannot refuse. For example, if you want to start meditating, just sit for 1 minute. If you want to exercise, start with 1 push-up. The goal is to break resistance and make starting easy. Once you start, momentum carries you forward. The fifth concept is measure and celebrate progress. Humans need feedback to stay motivated. Even small wins must be recognized. If you read 1 page today, celebrate it. If you save $1, acknowledge it. These celebrations remind your brain that you are moving forward. They create positive energy that makes you want to continue. Another important idea in Kaizen is patience. Modern life pushes us towards speed. We want quick results and instant rewards. But Kaizen teaches us that slow growth is natural growth. Just like a tree cannot grow overnight, true improvement takes time. Patience keeps us steady when results are not visible yet. Also, Kaizen values simplicity. Many systems for success are complicated. They need apps, schedules, or strict rules. Kaizen keeps it simple. Take 1 small step every day. That is all. Simplicity makes Kaizen easy to apply in any area of life. Finally, Kaizen encourages a mindset of curiosity. Instead of asking, how can I achieve everything at once, it asks, what is one small thing I can do today? This question opens the mind to possibilities. It shifts the focus from pressure to opportunity. When we combine these concepts, Kaizen becomes more than a method. It becomes a philosophy of living. It teaches us that success is not about sudden leaps, but steady movement. It reminds us that small steps are enough, as long as we continue. Now that we understand these principles, it is time to apply them. The best way to see Kaizen in action is to look at how it can improve daily life. One of the most important areas where people struggle is health and fitness. Many start strong and then quit. Kaizen offers a solution that makes getting in shape easier and permanent. Let us explore this in the next chapter. Kaizen for getting into shape. Health and fitness. Chapter 4. Kaizen for getting into shape. Health and fitness. Health and fitness are areas where most people struggle. At the beginning of every new year, or after a health scare, many decide to make big changes. They promise to exercise every day, stop eating junk food, or follow strict diets. For a short time, they succeed. But soon, the routine becomes too hard, and they return to old habits. The problem is not lack of willpower. The problem is that sudden big changes are not natural for the human mind or body. Kaizen gives us a new way. Instead of chasing perfection, it asks us to take very small and simple actions daily. The goal is not to lose 10 kilos in 1 month. The goal is to be 1% healthier every day. Over time, this builds into a strong and lasting foundation for health. For example, let us say you want to exercise. Many people start with an intense 1-hour workout. After a few days, they feel sore and tired. Then they stop. Kaizen suggests the opposite. Start with only 5 minutes, or even 2 minutes. Do 1 push-up today. Walk around the block. The action is so small that you cannot fail. Once it becomes a habit, you naturally add more time or intensity. The same principle applies to food. Instead of cutting out all unhealthy items at once, Kaizen says replace just one snack with a healthier option. Add one more serving of vegetables to your meal. Drink one extra glass of water daily. These steps are easy. They do not trigger resistance. Yet, over months, they create real change. Sleep is another area where Kaizen can help. Many people know they need better sleep, but cannot suddenly change their entire routine. Kaizen suggests going to bed 5 minutes earlier each night. Slowly, this becomes 10 minutes, then 20. In a few weeks, you naturally shift to a healthier sleep schedule without stress. Kaizen also works for mental health and stress. Meditation is powerful, but many find it difficult to sit for long periods. Instead of forcing yourself into 20 minutes of silence, begin with 1 minute of breathing daily. Over time, that 1 minute expands. The key is to make it easy, consistent, and natural. The beauty of Kaizen in health is that it removes guilt. If you aim for big goals, missing one day feels like failure. With Kaizen, missing one day does not matter. The step is so small that you can easily return tomorrow. This keeps your confidence alive. Another important benefit is that Kaizen makes health enjoyable. Extreme diets and workouts feel like punishment. Small changes feel gentle and friendly. They become a part of your lifestyle instead of a temporary program. Think of it like planting a garden. If you pour a bucket of water once a month, the plants may die between waterings. But if you water them a little every day, they thrive. Your body and mind are like that garden. They respond to small, regular care. Over time, Kaizen in health creates compound results. A short walk today becomes a daily walking habit. A glass of water today improves hydration over months. A small change in diet reduces disease risk over years. The results are not instant, but they are permanent. So when it comes to getting into shape, Kaizen teaches us that the real secret is not pushing harder, but starting smaller. One step today, another tomorrow. A healthier life built gently and steadily. Now that we understand how Kaizen improves health and fitness, let us look at another important part of life: money. Many people face stress with personal finance. They try to fix everything suddenly and fail. Kaizen shows us that financial health, just like physical health, can be built 1% at a time. That is the focus of the next chapter. Kaizen for personal finance. Chapter 5. Kaizen for personal finance. Money is one of the biggest sources of stress in modern life. People worry about bills, loans, saving for the future, or simply not having enough at the end of the month. In response to this stress, many try to make sudden dramatic changes. They attempt to cut out all spending at once or save half their salary immediately. Some even try to jump into risky investments hoping for quick profits. Most of the time, these big moves fail. The reason is the same as with health and fitness. Sudden changes are difficult to maintain. When they fail, people feel discouraged and give up completely. Kaizen offers a smarter and kinder way to manage personal finance. The principle is the same. Do not try to fix everything at once. Focus on small steps that can be repeated daily or monthly. Over time, these small actions create powerful financial habits and long-term security. The first step in Kaizen finance is saving. Instead of trying to save a huge percentage of your income suddenly, start with just 1%. If you earn 1,000, save 10. This amount is so small that you will not feel a loss, but it builds the habit of saving. Over time, increase it slowly. 1% becomes 2%, then 5%, then 10%. Within a few years, you will be saving a meaningful part of your income without stress. The second step is reducing expenses. Most people think they must give up all pleasures to save money. Kaizen suggests a different approach. Remove only one unnecessary expense at a time. For example, if you buy coffee every day, reduce it by 1 day a week. Put the saved money aside. Next month, look for another small expense to cut. Slowly, your lifestyle changes without feeling like a sacrifice. The third step is debt management. If you have many debts, paying them all at once feels impossible. Kaizen teaches us to focus on one small part at a time. Pay a little extra on the smallest debt first. When it is cleared, move to the next one. This builds confidence and momentum. Small victories with debt give you energy to continue until financial freedom becomes possible. The fourth step is investing. Many people wait until they have a large amount of money before investing. Kaizen says, begin with what you have, no matter how small. Even a tiny regular investment compounds into something significant over years. The key is not the size of the amount, but the habit of consistency. The fifth step is awareness. Kaizen encourages us to track our money in small, simple ways. Write down one daily expense. At the end of the week, review it. This small habit creates awareness of where money goes. Awareness naturally leads to better decisions. The beauty of Kaizen in finance is that it trains the brain. Instead of seeing money as a source of stress, you begin to see it as something you can control. Each small step gives you confidence. Each improvement makes your financial life stronger. Think of money management like planting a tree. You cannot grow a big tree overnight. But if you plant a small seed and water it daily, one day it will give you shade and fruit. Your financial habits are those daily drops of water. Over time, Kaizen in finance does more than improve numbers. It reduces anxiety, builds discipline, and creates security. You no longer depend on luck or sudden decisions. You trust the steady power of daily actions. Now that we have seen how Kaizen can transform health and money, let us turn to another area where people often struggle. Productivity. Both in personal work and in business, people look for ways to get more done. Kaizen offers practical methods that increase productivity without burnout. That is the subject of our next chapter. Kaizen for Productivity and Business. Chapter 6. Kaizen for Productivity and Business. Productivity is one of the most talked about topics today. Everyone wants to do more in less time. People search for the best apps, the perfect planners, or secret hacks that promise instant success. In business, leaders push for higher efficiency and faster results. But just like with health and finance, many of these approaches fail. The reason is simple. They rely on sudden big changes or heavy pressure. In the beginning, they feel exciting, but soon they become exhausting. Kaizen offers a different way to increase productivity. Instead of massive shifts, it focuses on small daily improvements. Productivity through Kaizen is not about working harder for short bursts. It is about working smarter, a little better every day, until efficiency becomes natural and automatic. One way Kaizen helps productivity is by identifying small wastes of time. For example, constantly checking email every 5 minutes breaks concentration. Instead of forcing yourself into strict rules overnight, Kaizen suggests a small step. Begin by checking email only once an hour. Then slowly reduce it to 2 or 3 times a day. This small shift saves hours over weeks and months. Another example is meetings. Many workplaces waste time in long discussions. Kaizen asks, what is one small change we can make today? Maybe reducing meetings by 10 minutes, or starting them on time. These tiny adjustments add up to huge time savings. For individuals, Kaizen productivity can mean writing just 100 words a day if you want to write a book. 1 phone call a day if you want to grow a business. 10 minutes of focused work before distractions. The size of the action does not matter. What matters is that it happens daily. Over time, the habit builds momentum, and the results become extraordinary. Businesses that apply Kaizen create a culture of continuous improvement. Instead of waiting for managers to create new systems, every employee contributes small ideas. In factories, this might mean rearranging tools for faster work. In offices, it could mean designing a simple checklist to avoid mistakes. These small suggestions are easy to implement, but create big impact when combined. The story of Toyota shows this clearly. The company became world famous not by one big breakthrough, but by thousands of small improvements suggested by its workers. Kaizen gave employees the power to stop production if they saw a problem and fix it immediately. This created a culture of responsibility, quality, and teamwork. Over decades, Toyota built a reputation that competitors struggled to match. Kaizen also helps avoid burnout. Many productivity systems fail because they demand too much energy too quickly. People push hard for a short time and then collapse. With Kaizen, the pace is gentle. You only need to improve slightly each day. This keeps motivation alive and reduces stress. The magic of Kaizen in productivity is that it builds trust in your own system. You no longer depend on sudden inspiration. You rely on habits. You trust that if you do your small daily actions, results will come. This creates peace of mind and stability. So whether it is an individual trying to manage personal work or a company trying to compete globally, the principle remains the same. Productivity is not about doing everything at once. It is about becoming 1% better every day. Now that we have seen Kaizen in health, finance, and productivity, let us take the idea even further. What if we apply Kaizen to our everyday routines? What if small changes could improve our energy, our focus, and even the way we live? This is where life hacks and biohacks come into play. That is the focus of our next chapter, Life Hacks and Biohacks. Chapter 7. Life Hacks and Biohacks. Life is made of small daily actions. The way you wake up, the way you work, the way you rest. These small habits shape your overall experience of life. Many people search for shortcuts or tricks to make their life easier. These are often called life hacks. Some people also experiment with new methods to improve their body and mind, which are called biohacks. Both life hacks and biohacks can be powerful when combined with Kaizen. The difference between normal hacks and Kaizen hacks is simple. Most hacks promise quick results and dramatic change. But Kaizen hacks are small, easy to adopt, and repeatable. They are not about shocking your system, but about building gentle improvements over time. Take the simple act of waking up in the morning. Many people struggle with snoozing their alarm again and again. A life hack might suggest placing your alarm clock across the room. That forces you to get out of bed. A Kaizen version of this hack would be even smaller. For example, commit to standing up for just 1 minute after the alarm rings. Once that becomes easy, you can stretch for another minute. Slowly, you build the ability to wake up with less struggle. In the area of biohacking, many people look for extreme solutions like fasting for long hours, taking expensive supplements, or using high-tech devices. While some of these may work, Kaizen suggests starting smaller. For example, drinking 1 extra glass of water daily, walking 10 minutes in the sunlight, turning off screens 15 minutes earlier before bed. These little biohacks seem simple, but they improve sleep, energy, and focus over time. Another Kaizen life hack is about reducing decision fatigue. Every day, we make hundreds of choices. What to wear, what to eat, when to check the phone. These choices consume mental energy. A simple Kaizen step is to prepare your clothes the night before, or to decide on a simple breakfast that you repeat daily. These micro-decisions free your mind for more important tasks. For work, one Kaizen hack could be using a 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This prevents small tasks from building into large, stressful piles. Over months, this simple rule clears mental clutter and keeps your work organized. Biohacking with Kaizen also encourages listening to your body. Instead of copying someone else's extreme routine, try one small change and notice how you feel. For example, if you try meditation, begin with 1 deep breath every morning. If that feels good, increase it to 3 breaths, then 5. Soon, you will have a meditation habit without any pressure or failure. The power of Kaizen life hacks is that they build compound improvements. 1 glass of water today may not matter, but 1 glass every day for a year prevents fatigue and dehydration. 1 extra push-up may not change your body today, but 1 push-up every day grows into strength and confidence. Kaizen turns simple hacks into lasting transformation. Most importantly, Kaizen life hacks are balanced. They do not promise magic or demand sacrifice. They give you a gentle path forward. This creates a lifestyle that is sustainable and enjoyable. As we approach the final chapter, remember this. Kaizen is not about adding more stress to your life. It is about finding small ways to live better. But living better does not mean only doing more. It also means finding balance. Productivity, health, money, and hacks are useful, but true happiness requires harmony. In our final chapter, we will explore how Kaizen helps us create balance in life. Balance between work and rest. Balance between ambition and peace. Balance between progress and enjoyment. Let us step into the final chapter. Finding balance. Chapter 8. Finding balance. Life is not only about chasing success, it is also about living with peace. Many people work hard on health, finance, and productivity, but they forget one essential truth. Without balance, success feels empty. Balance is the art of living in harmony. It is about giving attention to all parts of your life without letting one area destroy the others. Kaizen teaches us that balance is not created by sudden escapes or extreme changes. It is created by small and steady actions every day. Just as you improve 1% in health, finance, or work, you can also improve 1% in balance. Think about work and rest. Some people push themselves too hard, working long hours without pause. Others relax too much and fail to move forward. Balance is found in the middle. With Kaizen, you can start by adding a tiny moment of rest into your busy day. Maybe 5 minutes of silence after lunch, or a short walk after work. These small breaks refresh the mind and prevent burnout. On the other side, if you struggle with laziness, Kaizen suggests starting with 5 minutes of focused effort daily. Slowly, you create discipline without overwhelming yourself. Relationships also need balance. It is easy to get caught in personal goals and forget to connect with loved ones. But happiness without connection feels shallow. A Kaizen step here could be as small as sending one kind message daily, or sharing one meal without distractions. These tiny actions keep relationships alive and strong. Balance also means harmony between the body and the mind. Many people focus only on physical health, while others live mostly in their thoughts. Kaizen shows that even 1 minute of mindful breathing can bring the two together. Slowly, you create a life where the body supports the mind, and the mind supports the body. Financial goals also need balance. Saving money is important, but if saving becomes extreme, life feels restricted. On the other side, spending without control creates stress. Kaizen asks you to adjust in small steps. Save a little, spend a little on joy, and keep adjusting. This balanced approach allows both security and happiness. Even ambition requires balance. Dreams and goals are powerful, but without joy in the present moment, they feel far away. With Kaizen, you can celebrate small victories daily. Every step forward is progress. Every small improvement deserves recognition. This creates motivation without pressure. The beauty of Kaizen is that it makes balance possible for everyone. You do not need to be rich, strong, or gifted. You only need to be willing to take one small step every day. Over time, these steps bring balance in health, work, money, relationships, and inner peace. When you look back after months or years of practicing Kaizen, you will notice something amazing. Life feels lighter. Stress feels smaller. Joy feels closer. The secret is not in doing everything at once, but in doing something small every day. As we close this journey, remember that Kaizen is more than a method. It is a way of living. It teaches us that big results are not born from big actions. They are born from consistent small steps. Every day offers you a chance to improve by 1%. That 1% may feel tiny now, but over time, it creates a life full of growth, balance, and meaning. So begin today. Take one small step in health, one in finance, one in productivity, one in your relationships. Let Kaizen guide you to a life of steady progress and lasting balance. This brings us to the end of our exploration of 1% improvement every day. But it is not the end of your journey. The next chapter of your life begins with the next small step you take. Choose wisely. Choose Kaizen. Thank you for listening to this audiobook summary of 1% Better Every Day. I hope the idea of Kaizen has inspired you to see how small and simple steps can create big changes in your life. Remember, progress does not need to be dramatic. It only needs to be consistent. If you enjoyed this audiobook and want more summaries that bring powerful ideas in simple words, please support us by subscribing to this channel. Your support helps us continue sharing knowledge that can improve lives. So do not forget to subscribe, like, and share with others who may also benefit from Kaizen and similar ideas. Stay connected for more wisdom, more inspiration, and more small steps that lead to big results.